If you're still listening, you've made it further than I expected. This chapter, chapter 3, is going to be brought to you by Jinro Green Grape Soju. And I'm going to take a shot of this right now. Probably another shot every time this bitch says flush. So let's get started. Cheers. That's good shit. Kind of tastes like ZzzQuil. I like ZzzQuil though. Alright. Chapter 3, only like 24 more to go. Kate is ecstatic. But what was he doing at Clayton's? Her curiosity oozes through the phone. I'm in the depths of the stockroom trying to keep my voice casual. He was in the area. I think that is one huge coincidence, Lynn. Don't you think he was there to see you? My heart lurches at the prospect, but it's a short-lived joy. The dull, disappointing reality is that he was here on business. He was visiting the farming division of Wazoo. He's funding some research, I mutter. Oh yes, he's given the department a 2.5 million grant. How do you know this? Lynn, I'm a journalist, and I've written a profile on the guy. It's my job to know this. Okay, Carla Bernstein, keep your hair on. So, do you want these photos? Of course I do. The question is, who's going down on him? Who's going to do them and where? We could ask him where. He says he's staying in the area. You can contact him? I have his cell phone number. Kate gasped. The richest, most elusive, most enigmatic bachelor in Washington State just gave you his cell phone number? Yes? Lynn, he likes you, no doubt about it. Her tone is empathetic. Empathetic. God, I can't fucking read. I should take another shot. Her tone is emphatic. Kate, he's just trying to be nice. But even as I say these words, I know they're not true. Luke Theophilus doesn't do nice. He does polite, maybe, and a small, quiet voice whispers, perhaps Kate is right. My scalp prickles at the idea that maybe, just maybe, he might like me. And after all, he did say he was glad Kate didn't do the interview. I hug myself with quiet glee, rocking from side to side, entertaining the possibility that he might like me for one brief moment. Kate brings me back to the now. I don't know who will get to do the shoot. Levi, our regular photographer, can't. He's home in Idaho Falls for the weekend. He'll be pissed that he blew the opportunity to photo one of the America's leading entrepreneurs. What about Jose? Great idea. You ask him. He'll do anything for you. Then call Luke and find out where he wants us. Kate is irritatingly cavalier about Jose. I think you should call him. Who? Jose? Kate scoffs. No. Luke. Lynn, you're the one with the relationship. Relationship? I squeak at her, my voice rising several octaves. I barely know the guy. At least you've met him, she says bitterly, and it looks like he wants to know you better, Lynn. Just call him. She snaps and hangs up. She's so bossy sometimes. I frown at myself, sticking my tongue out at it. It's real mature. Just as I'm leaving a message for Jose when Paul enters the stockroom looking for sandpaper. We're kind of busy out there, Lynn, he says without acrimony. Yeah, sorry, I muttered, turning to leave. So, how come you know Luke Theophilus? Paul's voice is unconvincingly nonchalant. I had to interview him for our student newspaper. Kate wasn't well. I shrugged, trying to sound casual and doing no better than him. Luke Theophilus and Clayton's. Go figure. Paul snorts, amazed. He shakes his head as if to clear it. Anyway, want to grab a drink or something this evening? Whenever he's home, he asks me on a date. I always say no. It's a ritual. I've never considered it a good idea to date the boss's brother. And besides, Paul is cute in a wholesome, all-American boy next door kind of way. But he's no literary hero, not by any stretch of the imagination. Is Luke? My subconscious asks me, her eyebrow figuratively raised. I slap her down. Don't you have a family dinner or something for your brother? That's tomorrow. Maybe some other time, Paul. I need to study tonight. I have my finals next week. Lynn, one of these days you'll say yes. He smiles as I escape out to the store floor. But I do places, Lynn, not people, Jose groans. Jose, please, I beg. Clutching myself, I pace the living room of our apartment, staring out of the window in the fading evening light. Give me that phone. Kate grabs the handset from me, tossing her silken red blonde hair all over her shoulder. Listen here, Jose Rodriguez. If you want our newspaper to cover the opening of your show, you'll do this shoot for us tomorrow. Capiche? Kate can be awesomely tough. Good. Lynn will call you back with the location and the call time. We'll see you tomorrow. She snaps my cell phone shut because this is a time when people had those fucking flip phones. Sorted. All we need to do now is decide where and when. Call him. She hands the phone to me. My stomach twists. Call Theophilus now. I scowl at her and reach into my pocket for his business card. I take a deep, steadying breath, and with shaking fingers, I dial the number. He answers on the second ring. His tone is clipped, calm, and cold. Theophilus? Mr. Theophilus? It's Lynn Tran. I don't recognize my own voice. I'm so nervous. There's a brief pause. Inside, I'm quaking. Ah, Miss Tran, how nice to hear from you. His voice has changed. I'm surprised, I think. He sounds so warm. Seductive, even. My breath hitches, and I flush. Oh, yeah, that's the secret code word of the chapter, everybody. Flush. Every time she says that, I'm going to take a drink, so... Grape soju. I'm suddenly conscious that Catherine Kavanaugh is staring at me, her mouth open, and I dart into the kitchen to avoid her unwanted scrutiny. We'd like to go ahead with the photo shoot for the article. Breathe, Lynn, breathe. My lungs drag a hasty breath. Tomorrow, if that's okay. Where would be convenient for you, sir? I can almost hear his sphinx-like smile through the phone. You can hear a smile? That's just weird. I'm staying at the Heathman in Portland. Shall we say 9:30 tomorrow morning? Okay, we'll see you there. I am all gushing and breathy like a child, not a grown woman who can vote and drink legally in the state of Washington. I look forward to it, Miss Tran. I visualize the wicked gleam in his gray eyes. How can he make those 7 little words hold so much tantalizing promise? I hang up. Kate is in the kitchen, and she's staring at me with a look of complete and utter consternation on her face. Lynn Tran, Anastasia Rose Steele. I don't know what your middle name is, Lynn, but it's going to be Rose. Lynn Rose Tran, you like him. I've never seen or heard you so affected by anyone before. You're actually blushing. Oh, Kate, you know I blush all the time. It's an occupational hazard with me. Don't be so ridiculous. She blinks at me with surprise. I very rarely throw my toys out of the pram. I briefly relent. I just find him intimidating, that's all. Heathman, that figures, mutters Kate. I'll give the manager a call and negotiate a space for the shoot. I'll make supper, then I need to study. I cannot hide my irritation with her as I open the cupboards to make supper. I'm restless that night, tossing and turning, dreaming of smoky gray eyes, coveralls, long legs, long fingers, and dark, unexplored places. I wake twice in the night, my heart pounding. Oh, I'm going to look just great tomorrow with so little sleep, I scold myself, punch my pillow, and try to settle. The Heathman is nestled in downtown heart of Portland. Its impressive brownstone edifice was completed just in time for the crash of the late 1920s. Jose, Travis, and I are traveling in my Beetle. I don't know who the fuck Travis is, but he's there. Jose, Travis, and I are traveling in my Beetle, and Kate's in her CLK since we all can't fit in my car. Oh, Travis is Jose's friend and gopher, here to help out with the lighting. Oh, okay, Travis. Kate has managed to acquire the use of a room at the Heathman free of charge for the morning in exchange for a credit in the article. When she explains at the reception that we're here to photograph Luke Theophilus, CEO, we are instantly upgraded to a suite. Just a regular-sized suite, however, as apparently Mr. Theophilus is already occupying the largest one in the building. An overkeen marketing executive shows up to the suite. He's terribly young and very nervous for some reason. I suspect it's Kate Beauty in commanding manner that disarms him because he's putty in her hands. The rooms are elegant, understated, and opulently furnished. It's 9. We have a half hour to set up. Kate's in full flow. Jose, I think we'll need to shoot against that wall. Do you agree? She doesn't wait for his reply. Travis, clear the chairs. Lynn, could you do housekeeping to bring up some refreshments and let Luke know that we're here? Yes, mistress. She's so domineering. I roll my eyes, but do as I'm told. Half an hour later, Luke Theophilus walks into our suite. Holy crap, he's wearing a white shirt, open at the collar, and gray flannel pants that hang from his hips. His unruly hair is still damp from a shower. My mouth goes dry looking at him. He's so freaking hot. Luke is followed into the suite by a man in his mid-30s, all buzz-cut and stubble, in a sharp dark suit and tie, who stands silently in the corner. His hazel eyes watch us impassively. Miss Tran, we meet again. Luke extends his hand. I shake it, blinking rapidly. Oh my, he really is quite wow. As I touch his hand, I'm aware of that delicious current running right through me, lighting me up, making me blush, and I'm sure my erratic breathing is audible. Mr. Theophilus, this is Catherine Kavanaugh, I mutter, waving a hand towards Kate, who comes forward, looking him squarely in the eye. The tenacious Miss Kavanaugh. How do you do? He gives her a smile, looking genuinely amused. I trust you're feeling better? Lynn said you were unwell last week. I'm fine, thank you, Mr. Theophilus. She shakes his hand firmly without batting an eyelid. I remind myself that Kate has been to the best private schools in Washington. Her family has money, and she's grown up confident and sure of her place in the world. She doesn't take any crap. I'm in awe of her. Thank you for taking the time to do this. She gives him a polite, professional smile. It's a pleasure, he answers, turning his gray gaze on me, and I flush again. Damn it. Alright, well, she said flush, so here we go. Cheers. Oh. This is Jose Rodriguez, our photographer, I say, grinning at Jose, who smiles with affection back at me. His eyes cool when he looks from me to Gray. Theophilus. Mr. Theophilus, he nods. Mr. Rodriguez? Luke's expression changes too as he appraises Jose. Where would you like me? Luke asks him. His tone sounds vaguely threatening, but Catherine is not about to let Jose run the show. Mr. Theophilus, if you could sit here, please. Be careful of the lighting cables, and then we'll do a few standing too. Travis switches on the lights, momentarily blinding Luke, and mutters an apology. Then Travis and I stand back and watch as Jose proceeds to snap away. He takes several photographs handheld, asking Luke to turn this way, then that, and moves arm, put it down again. Moving the tripod, Jose takes several more, while Luke sits and poses patiently and naturally for about 20 minutes. My wishes come true. I can stand and admire Luke from not so afar. Twice our eyes lock, and I have to tear myself away from his cloudy gaze. Enough sitting. Catherine wades in again. Standing, Mr. Theophilus? He stands, and Travis scurries in to remove the chair. The shutter on Jose's Nikon starts clicking again. I think we have enough, Jose announces 5 minutes later. Did I forget to do that accent earlier? Shit. Great, says Kate. Thank you again, Mr. Theophilus. She shakes his hand, and so does Jose. I look forward to reading the article, Miss Kavanaugh, murmurs Gray, and he turns to me, standing by the door. Will you walk with me, Miss Tran? He asks. Sure, I say, completely thrown. I glance anxiously at Kate, who shrugs at me. I notice Jose scowling behind her. Good day to you all, says Luke as he opens the door, standing aside to allow me out first. Holy hell, what the hell is this about? What does he want? I pause on the hotel corridor, fidgeting nervously as Luke emerges from the room, followed by Mr. Buzzcut in his sharp suit. I'll call you, Taylor, he murmurs to Buzzcut. Taylor wanders back down the corridor, and Gray turns his burning gray gaze to me. Crap, did I do something wrong? I wondered if you'd join me for coffee this morning. My heart slams into my mouth. A date? Luke Theophilus is asking me on a date. He's asking if you want a coffee. Maybe he thinks you haven't woken up yet. My subconscious whines at me in sneering mood again. I clear my throat trying to control my nerves. I have to drive everyone home, I murmur apologetically, twisting my hands and fingers in front of me. Taylor, he calls, making me jump. Taylor, who had been retreating down the corridor, turns and heads back to us. Are they based at the university? Luke asks, his voice soft and inquiring. I nod, too stunned to speak. Taylor can take them. He's my driver. We have a large 4x4 here, so he'll be able to take the equipment too. Mr. Theophilus? Taylor asks when he reaches us, giving nothing away. Please, can you drive the photographer, his assistant, and Miss Kavanaugh back home? Certainly, sir, he replies. There, now you can join me for coffee. Luke smiles as if it's a done deal. I frown at him. Mr. Theophilus, this really... Look, Taylor doesn't have to drive them home. I'll swap vehicles with Kate if you give me a moment. Luke smiles a dazzling, unguarded, natural, all teeth showing glorious smile. Oh my. and he opens the door of the suite so I can re-enter. I screwed around him to enter the room, finding Catherine in deep conversation with Jose. Lynn, I think he definitely likes you, she says with no preamble whatsoever. Jose glares at me with disapproval. But I don't trust him, she adds. I raise my hand up in the hope that she'll stop talking. By some miracle, she does. Kate, if you take the Beetle, can I take your car? Why? Luke Theophilus has asked me to go to coffee with him. Her mouth pops open. Speechless Kate. I savor the moment. She grabs me by my arm and drags me into the bedroom that's off the living area of the suite. Anna, there's something about him. Her tone is full of warning. He's gorgeous, I agree, but I think he's dangerous, especially to someone like you. What do you mean, someone like me? An innocent like you, Lynn. You know what I mean. She's a little irritated. I flush. Oh, she's flushed again. So I'm going to flush this soju down my throat. Kate, it's just coffee. I'm starting my exams this week and I need to study, so I won't be long. She purses her lips as if considering my request. Finally, she fishes her car keys out of her pocket and hands them to me. I hand her mine. I'll see you later. Don't be long, or I'll send out search and rescue. Thanks, I hug her. I emerge from the suite to find Luke Theophilus waiting, leaning up against the wall, looking like a male model in a pose for some glossy high-end magazine. Okay, let's do coffee, I murmur, flushing a beet red. I just drank for that. I don't think I'm gonna drink for that one. That was too soon. He grins. After you, Miss Tran. He stands up straight, holding his hand out for me to go first. I make my way down the corridor, my knees shaky, my stomach full of butterflies, and my heart and my mouth thumping a dramatic, uneven beat. I am going to have coffee with Luke Theophilus, and I hate coffee. We walk together down the wide hotel corridor to the elevators. What should I say to him? My mind is suddenly paralyzed with apprehension. What are we going to talk about? What on earth do I have in common with him? His soft, warm voice startles me from my reverie. How long have you known Miss Catherine Kavanaugh? An easy question for starters. Since our freshman year, she's a good friend. He replies. At the elevators, he presses the call button and the bell rings almost immediately. The doors slide open, revealing a young couple in a passionate clinch inside. Surprised and embarrassed, they jump apart, staring guiltily in every direction but ours. Luke and I step into the elevator. I'm struggling to maintain a straight face, so I gaze down at the floor, feeling my cheeks turning pink. When I peek up at Luke through my lashes, he has a hint of smile on his lips, but it's very hard to tell. The young couple says nothing, and we travel down the first floor in embarrassed silence. We don't even have trashy pipe music to distract us. The doors open, and much to my surprise, Luke takes my hand, clasping it with his cool fingers. I feel the current run through me, and already my rapid heartbeat accelerates. As he leads me out of the elevator, we can hear the suppressed giggles of the couple erupting behind us. Luke grins. What is it about elevators, he mutters. We cross the expansive, bustling lobby of the hotel toward the entrance, but Luke avoids the revolving door, and I wonder if that's because he'd have to let go of my hand. Outside, it's a mild May Sunday. The sun is shining and the traffic is light. Luke turns left and strolls to the corner where we stop waiting for the lights of the pedestrian crossing to change. He's still holding my hand. I'm in the street, and Luke Theophilus is holding my hand. No one's ever held my hand. I felt giddy, all tingly all over. I attempt to smother a ridiculous grin that threatens to split my face in two. Try to be cool, Lynn, my subconscious implores me. The green man appears, and we're off again. We walk 4 blocks before we reach Portland Coffee House, where Luke releases me to hold the door open so I can step inside. Why don't you choose a table while I get the drinks? What would you like? He asks, polite as ever. I'll have, English breakfast tea. Bag out. Bag out. He raises his eyebrows. No coffee? I'm not keen on coffee. He smiles. Okay, bag out tea. Sugar? For a moment, I'm stunned, thinking it's endearment, but unfortunately, my subconscious kicks in with pursed lips. No, stupid. Do you take sugar? No, thanks. I stare down at my knotted fingers. Anything to eat? No, thank you. I gaze at him from beneath my lashes as he stands in line waiting to be served. I could watch him all day. He's tall, broad-shouldered, and slim, and the way those pants hang from his hips, oh my. Once or twice he runs his long, graceful fingers through his now dry but still disorderly hair. I'd like to do that. The thought comes unhit. Fuck. Excuse me. Fuck, where was I? Yeah, I I bite my lip and stare down at my hands again, not liking where my wayward thoughts are headed. Penny for your thoughts? Luke is back, startling me. I go crimson. I was just thinking about running my fingers through your hair and wondering if it'd feel soft to the touch. I shake my head. He's carrying a tray, which he sets down on the small round birch veneer table. He hands me a cup and a saucer, a small teapot, and a side plate bearing a lone tea bag labeled Twining's English Breakfast Tea, my favorite. He has a coffee which bears a wonderful leaf pattern imprinted in the milk. How do they do that? I wonder idly. He's also bought himself a blueberry muffin. Putting the tray aside, he sits opposite me and crosses his long legs. He looks so comfortable, so at ease with his body. I envy him. Here's me, all gawky and uncoordinated, barely to get from A to B without falling flat on my face. Your thoughts? He prompts me. This is my favorite tea. I simply cannot believe I'm sitting opposite Luke Theophilus in a coffee shop in Portland. He frowns. He knows I'm hiding something. I pop the tea back into the teapot and almost immediately fish it out again with my teaspoon. As I place the used tea bag on the side plate, he cocks his head, gazing quizzically at me. I like my tea black and weak, I mutter as an explanation. I see. Is he your boyfriend? Whoa, what? Who? The photographer, Jose Rodriguez. I laugh, nervous but curious. What gave him that impression? No, Jose is a good friend of mine, that's all. Why did you think he was my boyfriend? The way you smiled at him, and he at you. His gray gaze holds mine. He's so unnerving. I want to look away, but I'm caught, spellbound. He's more like family, I whisper. Luke nods slightly, seemingly satisfied with my response, and glances down at his blueberry muffin. His long fingers deftly peel back the paper, and I watch, fascinated. Do you want some? He asks, and that amused secret smile is back. No thanks. I frown and stare down at my hands again. And the boy I met yesterday at the store, he's not your boyfriend? No, Paul's just a friend. I told you yesterday. Oh, this is getting silly. Why do you ask? You seem nervous around men. Holy crap, that's personal. I'm just nervous around you, Luke. I find you intimidating. I flush scarlet, but mentally pat myself on the back for my candor and gaze at my hands again. I hear a sharp intake of breath. I'm gonna backtrack and take a drink, because she just flushed. This bottle's already half gone. Oh, man. Let's see. So she just told him he's intimidating. He says, "You should find me intimidating. You're very honest. Please don't look down. I like to see your face." Oh, I glance at him and he gives me an encouraging but wry smile. "It gives me some sort of clue of what you might be thinking," he breathes. "You're a mystery, Miss Tran." Mysterious? Me? There's nothing mysterious about me. "I think you're very self-contained," he murmurs. Am I? Wow, how am I managing that? This is bewildering. Me? Self-contained? No way. Except when you blush, of course, which is often. I just wish I knew what you were blushing about. He pops a small piece of muffin into his mouth and starts to chew it slowly, not taking his eyes off me. And as if on cue, I blush. Crap. Do you always make such personal observations? I hadn't realized I was. Have I offended you? He sounds surprised. No, I answer truthfully. Good. But you're very high-handed, I retaliate quietly. He raises his eyebrows, and if I'm not mistaken, he flushes slightly too. I'm not going to drink for that one, because she didn't flush, he flushed. But she said it. Fuck it. I'm going to skip that one. I'm used to getting my own way, Lynn, he murmurs, in all things. I don't doubt it, but why haven't you asked me to call you by your first name? I'm surprised by my audacity. Why has this conversation become so serious? This isn't going the way I thought it was going to go. I can't believe I'm feeling so antagonistic towards him. It's like he's trying to warn me off. The only people who use my given name are my family and a few close friends. That's the way I like it. Oh, he still hasn't said, call me Luke. He is a control freak. There's no other explanation. And part of me is thinking maybe it'd been better if Kate had interviewed him. Two control freaks together. Plus, of course, she's almost blonde. Well, strawberry blonde, like all the women in his office. And she's beautiful, my subconscious reminds me. I don't like the idea of Luke and Kate. I take a sip of my tea, and Luke eats another small piece of his muffin. Are you an only child? He asks. Whoa, he keeps changing direction. Yes? Tell me about your parents. Why does he want to know this? It's so dull. My mom lives in Georgia with her new husband Bob. My stepdad lives in Montesano. I'm guessing that's in California. Your father? My father died when I was a baby. I'm sorry, he mutters, and in a fleeting troubled look crosses his face. I don't remember him. And your mother remarried? I snort. You could say that. He frowns at me. You're not giving much away, are you? He says dryly, rubbing his chin as if in deep thought. Neither are you. You've interviewed me once already, and I can recollect some quite probing questions then. He smirks at me. Holy shit, he's remembering the gay question. Once again, I'm mortified. In years to come, I know I'll need some intensive therapy to not feel embarrassed by this every time I recall the moment. I start babbling about my mother, anything to block that memory. My mom is wonderful. She's an incurable romantic. She's currently on her fourth husband. Luke raises his eyebrows in surprise. I miss her, I continue. She has Bob now. I just hope she can keep an eye on her. He can keep an eye on her and pick up the pieces when her harebrained schemes don't go as planned. I smile fondly. I haven't seen my mom for so long. Luke is watching me intently, taking occasional sips of his coffee. I really shouldn't look at his mouth. It's unsettling. Those lips. Do you get along with your stepfather? Of course, I grew up with him. He's the only father I know. And what is he like? Ray? He's, who knows? That's it? Gray asks, surprised. I shrug. What does this man expect? My life story? Huh. I refrain from rolling my eyes at him. He likes soccer, European soccer especially, and bowling and fly fishing and making furniture. He's a carpenter, ex-army. I sigh. You lived with him? Yes, my mom met husband number 3 when I was 15. I stayed with Ray. He frowns as if he doesn't understand. You didn't want to live with your mom? He asks. I blush. This is really none of his business. Husband number 3 lived in Texas. My home was in Montesano, and my mom was newly married. I stop. My mom never talks about husband number 3. Where is Luke going with this? This is none of his business. 2 can play that game. Tell me about your parents, I ask. He shrugs. My dad's a lawyer, my mom's a pediatrician. They live in Seattle. Oh, and he's had an affluent upbringing. I wonder about a successful couple who adopt. I wonder about a successful couple who adopt 3 kids, and one of them turns into a beautiful man who takes on the business world and conquers it single-handed. What drove him to be that way? His folks must be proud. What do your siblings do? Elliot's in construction, and my little sister's in Paris studying cookery under some renowned French chef. His eyes cloud with irritation. He doesn't want to talk about his family or himself. I hear Paris is lovely, I murmur. Why doesn't he want to talk about his family? Is it because he's adopted? It's beautiful. Have you been? He asks, his irritation forgotten. I've never left mainland USA, so now we're back to banalities. What is he hiding? Would you like to go? To Paris? I squeak. This one's thrown me. Who wouldn't want to go to Paris? Of course, I concede. But it's England that I'd really like to visit. He cocks his head to one side, running his index finger across his lower lip. Oh my. Because... I blink rapidly. Concentrate, Tran. It's the home of Shakespeare. All those fucking English things. I'd like to see the places that inspire those people to write such wonderful books. All this fucking talk of literary grades reminded me that I should be studying. I glance at my watch. I better go. I have to study. For your exams? Yes, they start Tuesday. Where's Miss Kavanaugh's car? In the hotel parking lot. I'll walk you back. Thank you for the tea, Mr. Theophilus. He smiles his odd, I've got a whopping big secret smile. You're welcome, Lynn. It's my pleasure. Come. He commands, and he holds his hand out to me. I take it, bemused, and follow him out of the coffee shop. We stroll back to the hotel. I'd like to say it's in companionable silence. He at least looks his casual, usual calm, collected self. As for me, I'm desperately trying to gauge how our little coffee morning has gone. I feel like I've been interviewed for a position, but I'm not sure what it is. Could be doggy. Do you always wear jeans? He asks out of the blue. Mostly. He nods. We're back at the intersection, across from the hotel. My mind's reeling. What an odd question, and I'm aware that our time together is limited. This was it, and I've completely blown it, I know. Perhaps he asked someone. Do you have a girlfriend? I blurt out. Holy crap, did I just say that out loud? His lips quirk up at a half smile and looks down at me. No, Lynn, I don't do the girlfriend thing, he says softly. Oh, what does that mean? He's not gay? Maybe he is. Crap. He must have lied to me in his interview, and for a moment, I think he's going to follow on with some explanation, some clue to this cryptic statement, but he hasn't. I have to go. I have to try to reassemble my thoughts. I have to get away from him. I walk forward, and I trip, stumbling headlong onto the road. Shit, Lynn, Luke cries. He tugs the hand that's holding so hard that I fall back against him just as a cyclist whips past, narrowly missing me, heading the wrong way up the one-way street. It all happens so fast. 1 minute I'm falling, the next I'm in his arms, he's holding me tightly against his chest. I inhale his clean, vital scent. He smells of fresh laundered linen and some expensive body wash. Oh my, it's intoxicating. I inhale deeply. Are you okay? He whispers. He has one arm around me, clasping me to him, while the fingers of his other hand softly trace my face, gently probing, examining me. His thumb brushes my lower lip, and I hear his breath hitch. He's staring into my eyes, and I hold his anxious, burning gaze for a moment, or maybe it's forever, but eventually my attention is drawn to this beautiful mouth. Oh my. I'm gonna start drinking every time she says, oh my. And for the first time in 21 years, I want to be kissed. I want to feel his mouth on me. That's the end of the chapter.